bold and daring. Knowing that this is a subject and a story that is rarely known to an older audience, but much less known to a younger audience. So I wanted to find ways to connect to them. Because with anything that I do, I really try to find a way to inspire and educate and motivate. I'm really into the millennial generation, and I want us to find ways on improving and just being better altogether. So my task was inspired by the script, which is very aggressive, and rightfully so. I loved it. I wanted to be bold. I wanted to be daring. So I took choices on trying to play with the dichotomy of extremes, which was really entering into a new color palette that we have rarely seen in this genre or even this time period. One of the things was really trying to defy what anyone thinks they know about this. You know, everyone's going to come to it with the question of why another slave narrative, or why do I need to see this? And I think there are important messages here. I think just even to see the courage and the strength and the swag that we rarely get to see with slavery. I think we are overly saturated with the brutality, and we didn't want to sit in that. We really wanted to find the celebration and really represent the hope and really show the integrated efforts that came to reach for the revolution.
Indeed.
And so that's what we really were about, really trying to find a new voice and create a new language here, because you don't know it. So my feeling was, if you don't know it, you can't really criticize it because you have nothing to really compare it to. So I wanted to find a way to make it vibrant and really figure out ways that inspire and be even entertaining. Like, we wanted to have an in-your-face music component to it that I think that really also, you know, the big thing for me was dragging the past to present and figuring out ways on how we can bridge the gap. Also just to be healing. And it was exciting. You know, with any situation or life or whatever, we need to see our dirty laundry. That's the only way we're going to learn. So the harshness in it, to me, is as important as feeling, you know, any beauty or love, because that's my biggest charge. It's really just to kind of find more and just more love in this world.
I noticed several times you would use the contrast between life with the slaves and life in the big house. For example, there was a scene where the black preacher, brother with the one eye, he was giving a sermon down near the slave quarters, and there's also the white preacher that was giving the same sermon, and there were also other scenes as well. How important, did you feel that was important? It was important because you put it there. Why did you feel that was important to illustrate not once but twice that I noticed in the first 4 episodes?
Well, with anything, I think we need to be reminded to not give up so easily. Like, you know, just because are given lemons, make lemonade out of it. You know, it's that simple concept of take what you have, be grateful, and use it. You know, and whether or not you have it yourself, you can collectively be greater. And that was the thing that I loved about them forming this squad and this team, to realize that they needed, you know, the band, you know, per se, to go to battle. They knew they couldn't do it alone.
Indeed.
And so they figured out a way on how to do it and use the resources that they had. And that, to me, just shows and speaks to their genius and their just, you know, the strength and the courage that they had to take those risks and to figure out a way to own what they had and figure out a way and just take it by the bull by the horns and not let it hold them back.
Indeed.
And fight.
Indeed. Now, as a filmmaker, of course, you know about the linear nature of time. Events falling along a line, processing,
Right.
up into the present day. I noticed that several times you used plot devices. You used plot devices that would be that illustrated societal norms from antebellum that were very similar to what's going on today. It wasn't contrived. These things are still going on.
Yeah.
Could you talk about, how you got into the souls of the people, not only from black folks from antebellum, but contemporary black folks as well, with some of these things you did?
Well, I think with it all, you realize that these were desperate and dangerous people who lived desperate and dangerous lives. And I'm interested in that. I'm learning. I love to get to the core of why.
Yes.
And all of the above. So it was really interesting we had did a lot of research.
Indeed.
And had a lot of things to reference. But just alone, the characters that we display in Underground represented so much, and they balanced each other out.
Indeed.
Like just from Rosalie in the house, and going from being a fearless person, a fearful person, and very timid, to becoming the hero that she is, and to represent that, the strength in the woman, the strength in the man, and realizing that they needed each other. So it was just something that we really, for myself, I learned a lot, even to learn William Still, who was like the father of this, I never knew who he was, and it was something, I was educated a lot by this as well. And it's just really awesome for me, and it's just to know, you always are told, and and even have some examples that where we come from, and our ancestors were great, and
Yes.
and I know we come from kings and queens, and it's really awesome for me to show that.
Yes.
Especially to a younger audience, for them to have a really great blueprint, to realize that there's another way, a really awesome way out, that if we just, if we come together and unite, we can do it better together than we can alone.
Indeed. All right, telling me to wrap.